Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss the most trending topic, which is general trading company set up in UAE. To discuss on the same, I have with me Kuldeep, who's head of sales, Noreen, who's assistant team leader. So Kuldeep, Noreen, welcome to the podcast. The first question which I have for you is, what is the process of starting your general trading company?
Okay, so obviously going ahead with any setup is a little bit complicated. So just to ease it up, I'll break it up into a few easy steps. So the first thing that you need to do with any company at all is to go ahead for the trade name reservation. And that means that you give us the 3 preferred names that you have, and we get the right one selected for you as per availability with the government. Secondly, we go ahead for the initial approval. I would say this is one of the most important stages because this is more of a stepping stone on to starting the license procedure. We collect the information regarding the shareholders, their necessary identity documents to make sure that they don't face any further issues going ahead. After the initial approval is received successfully, we go ahead for the Memorandum of Association signing. This, first of all, is a completely digital process, and we don't require the presence of the shareholders here. However, we require all the shareholders to be on a Zoom call or on a video call on any platform in order to sign in front of the authorities. Once we have the memorandum signed and fully ready to go, we do go ahead for the license. The license is released and then the shareholders can move on for the visa procedure.
So Noreen, as you mentioned MOA, which is a digital process, we have often seen that the investors are pretty much confused that they have to come to UAE physically for doing their license process. So as you mentioned that MOA is also a digital process, is there anything else for which investor has to come to UAE?
Okay, so I would say that the easiest way to answer that question would be to actually go ahead with the breakdown of what exactly constitutes to establishing a company in the UAE, right? So first we have the licensing procedure. Now the good part about the UAE and setting up your company here is that the whole license procedure can be digital. We don't require the presence of the shareholders or their representatives, so this kind of makes it very much easier for them as it's very much more cost efficient and also saves them a lot of time instead of having to go through the hassle of traveling back and forth just to sign a few documents. So if the question is whether we require the physical presence of any of the shareholders for the memorandum or the licensing, no, we actually do not in the UAE.
Well, you made it look so easy, which even everybody is confused about. Most of the times we always see that the consultants in the market or the experienced guys in the market are always telling the clients to go for a general trading license. So what is this propaganda of always telling the clients to go for a general trading license by consultants especially?
So I would say that this is also one of the most faced issues that I personally have had in this industry, and the only logical explanation that I have come across is the fact that it makes it a lot more easier to give the client a single activity than to sit there, consult their exact needs and wants, understand their business inside and out to make sure that the client himself is not going to face any issues in the future.
So basically you are trying to say to safeguard yourself, your time, you are putting the business of the customers jeopardy. Now the biggest question, when should we form a general trading company and when should we avoid to form a general trading company?
Okay, so I would say basically, let's suppose if any customer is coming to UAE to set up a company, and if they have a multiple of business in trading, then initially he should not start a general trading company activity. So I would suggest that if customer doesn't have a multiple products, okay, initially, and if he doesn't have a market knowledge about the products, and if he doesn't have a counterparty contract or something, then I would suggest that not to start with a general trading activity.
So basically you are saying if the client is new to the industry, he has some products only which are fewer, then rather than putting all his hands into all the products and taking a general trading will be difficult for him in the long term because of the complexities of different products. And when should we take the general trading?
Okay, so in terms of general trading and when exactly one should opt for such an activity is when, first of all, I would say having an experience in the market of general trading really matters. So it's not just about a few activities, it's a multitude of activities, multitude of products, and a lot of different industries to contact with. If somebody already has a very well established business outside the country, which he has been running for a few years, has the knowledge, I would highly suggest him. Secondly, if he has agreeable counterparties, if he has the suppliers and buyers, and if he has the required agreements that have been already made, have been stipulated already in contract, then also I would suggest him to go for a general trading license. And I would say a secondary option for going for a general trading license, would be mainly if your 2 or 3 activities do not really match each other. If whatever trading you're doing is completely different to the other, then again it would be much easier to go for general trading, not just in terms of cost efficiency but also in terms of complexity.
Which I see rarely happening.
Exactly.
Because you cannot be a company who suddenly says I'm a marble trading. In the night we receive that you're a steel trading company. Next morning you become a e-commerce company. Normally if you have one license, those will be correlated trading activities. If you're saying you're doing everything, then it is of course a confusion for the customers, suppliers and banks. Now the most important aspect, the banking, which is your forte and which is something you like to discuss all about it. So I would like to ask, if somebody is forming a general trading company in mainland or free zone, does it matter? And then what is the complexity in terms of bank account in general trading activity?
Okay, see, the thing is, basically, if I talk about the banking part for the general trading activity, obviously most of the bank, they are not comfortable with this activity. Like she said that there are multiple products and we need to justify the business activity to the compliance, that what exactly is the business, and if business is similar, let's suppose if he's having a steel trading, if he's doing apart from that jewelry trading or any other activity which is not matching, then obviously there is a compliance questions and everything which we need to justify to the bank. In terms of documentation part, we will be having a required contract or something with the companies which is there in UAE, or if they have a experience, let's suppose if they have a company in their home country and same line of business they are doing there, and after that they are opening a company here with the same activity, then we can say that yes, we can open the business bank account much easier. But in terms of bank will take time. Obviously the time period is there. They can take 1 month or they can take 2 months to open up this company bank account, especially with the general trading activity.
But it will completely depend again on the profile as well.
Right, exactly.
And what about free zone and mainland? Is it same if you take general trading in any of the jurisdiction?
Yes.
Or it will matter?
It will be the same. It will be the same. Obviously, just because of the activity name, both in free zone and mainland, both are compliance case for the banks. So the same process will follow.
So that was all about general trading, company setup to banking. Thank you so much for giving a lot of information to the customers. If you have further questions, you can post on our comment box, follow us on our social media or call our customer care.